everyone, I'm Hattie, a French volunteer at Team for Youth Association in Romania, and during 6 months I work with kids from very disadvantaged family, very poor family. I help them to know job school, to fight against violence, and to have a healthy lifestyle. I work precisely and mostly in Pirita community in Baia Mare and also with kids from Greca community. And I decided to do a documentary about people who lived in Pirita, in this community like Pirita or Greca, and succeed to get out of this community. So just take a seat and look at this documentary. Hello everyone, today we're going to ask a question, interview some Romanian people to ask them what they think about Roma people. You know, in Romania, Roma people and Romanian people live together, but we want to know what Romanian people think about them. There is maybe some stereotype, maybe not, we will discover it. So, follow me.
De pe română să spunem, sau, da? Poate, din păcate, nu am o părere așa de bună, din păcate. Eu îi cunosc doar pe cei din oraș. De pe sate sunt altfel, sunt diferiți. Au casa lor, au gospodăria lor, toate sunt oameni de treabă. Dar aici, în oraș, din păcate, stau pe spatele cetățenilor români. Și încearcă să profite cât mai mult. Prin furt, prin înșelăciune și așa mai departe.
And what do you think about the life condition?
A lor?
Cu siguranță nu e una bună.
Sub nivelul mediu.
Una foarte proastă. Sub nivelul mediu, cu mult sub nivelul mediu.
Da. Și din păcate pentru copii este foarte rău. Copii care trăiesc pe stradă și n-au niciun viitor, practic. Și mulți mor foarte tineri.
N-am nicio problemă cu ei, gen, atâta timp cât ei sunt oameni, gen, sunt respectoși.
Eu consider că dacă mai mulți romi fac furturi sau ceva de genul și unul e ok, îi considera la fel ca restul.
Gen, dacă e ca și lumea e foarte rasistă, gen, dacă un alt face ceva, un om alt, normal, toată lumea să fie, nu o să-i pase așa de mult ca și de țigani, despre oamenii romă, pentru că, nu știu, și părinții mei au o problemă foarte mare cu romii și eu nu înțeleg de ce, pentru că există și romi care sunt ok, gen, da, înțeleg, dar există și oameni normali care sunt nașpa ca și romii, gen, nu e ca și cum doar romii sunt răi sau... Dintre chiar sunt foarte ok.
What do you think about the life condition?
Ce credeți despre condițiile în care stau?
Ei? Am impresia că ei stau în condiția după cum se fac ei, gen, dacă ei muncesc și să-ți facă o casă, o să stai într-o casă, gen, dacă muncesc. Dacă nu muncesc, normal că o să te undeva unde nu au loc, unde nu e ok pentru ei.
Într-un loc mai mizerabil.
Da.
Așa. Fiecare are viața cum și o creează.
Da, exact, după cum lucrează. Deci și dacă ești rom, poți să faci ceva în viața asta, nu e doar așa. Dar am impresia că în România se discriminează foarte tare neștirea.
It depends. I don't have a strong opinion on that. I agree with many people, so I don't really differentiate people based on their culture or race or anything like that. And this is so, yeah.
Okay. And what do you think about the life condition of Roma people?
Okay. You mean in Romania or?
Yes, in Romania, because sometimes you don't have an apartment like other people. They live like in a special house. So
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a bit unfair, to be honest. And yeah, I think something should be done for that.
About it. I think they're not very integrated in society, right? So they're always being seen as something separated from the Romanian society. It's being passed in the culture, It's a more as a cultural thing, I think, It's not being passed too much, let's say, education into this field, People try to, it's like a taboo. They don't want to speak about it, but they know it's a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the life condition? Because sometimes you don't have house or apartment and they live like in the street or in clubs.
Yeah.
And what do you think about this?
I think it's unfortunate, of course, but I think the state, the government, I think they're trying to help, but I think what they need to do more is to integrate them, offer them job opportunities, education, which is the most important. If there's no education, you can offer them everything, right? But this, I think the government needs to take it a bit more seriously and really create special programs like to integrate them in society, maybe like, I don't know, internships, work opportunities and education and so
Because
on.
you will not solve the problem just by giving them, for example, housing or by providing them certain amount of money on a monthly basis. You have to go much deeper because this is solving problem only on the surface.
Yeah.
You have to go much deeper. You have to provide them maybe better education or, as you said, work opportunities and so on. That will open doors for them.
Hello Claudia, tell me how do you discover the Pirita community?
Hello. I discovered Pirita community back in 2016 in a very cold February. I was looking for somebody to donate some clothes. I didn't know that here it is a community. Just I have a vague memory that some family is living here. So I arrived here with my car. All was very frozen. And I was in shock to see that so many houses and people are living in such conditions.
And how do you have the idea to help this community when you discover it?
I didn't have any idea. I was just very angry and I was very ashamed that I was already for so many years in the social field and I didn't knew that in my own town people are living in such a poverty and exclusion. So it was just a shock.
Okay, I understand. Since when do you work in Pirita?
I started right then in February 2016 because I was part of a child protection department here in Baia Mare. So it was my duty to do something. And I tried to do it in an institutionalized way. I tried to activate all the institutions at the local level to do something. And I waste a lot of time trying to speak with everybody, do paper work, and I realized that the official answer was that here is not a community. Here is just an empty space left behind by the owners. And some families from other parts of Romania are just passing through, and trying to beg or working on the garbage dump for several months a year. So, instead I developed somehow obsession, a small obsession to understand how is possible that some community is invisible completely for the state. And I start to come daily.
And how do you start to help them?
It was after several months. We celebrate in Romania Children's Day on 1st of June. So I had this idea, how about to invite the children from Pirita to celebrate the 1st June. And I went to the school inspectorate and I told them about my idea and that I wanted to do it in a kindergarten very close to the community. And somehow they said yes, okay. But only when all the other children from the kindergarten were already left.
Okay. And since 2016, what do you do exactly in Pirita with the kids?
So, in the last 4 years, a plan started to build up somehow, because I realized that the most important thing is the access to education. And I tried to help as much as I could that all the children in Pirita has access to education. And it wasn't simple at all. Because all the schools in Baia Mare said no, we don't want children from Pirita in our school.
And do you know why?
Yes, they said because all the other children or parents will go away. Nobody wants to be a classmate with the children from Pirita. And we fight. We went for 5 times in the council of the county, and we even make contact with the Ministry of Education in Romania, and we succeed to see some groups of children in school.
Okay, so
it was yes, it was a success. But then I realized that if we are not there for the children, they will not succeed.
Yes, but it's only a small group of kids who go to school. Not all the kids of Pirita go to school.
Now we have 67 children. All children that have the age to go to school. Yes.
Oh, they go out.
Yes. And we also have around 30 children in kindergarten. Because in 4 years we proved that we can support the families and children with clothes, school supplies, communications, medicines, and a place where the children can come and study.
Perfect. And is it your full-time job to work with kids from Pirita?
No, this is just my voluntary work. I live, I'm a teacher.
Okay.
But I used to work for 20 years in the social field. Right now, I do consultancy for RomAct, Council of Europe, and European Commission joint program. And I used to coordinate 2 European projects. Yes, but it was like like dying because it was too much. Now I'm a little bit more dedicated to this cause. Because I can earn my living from consultancy.
Okay. And was it difficult to offer your help to the kids from Pirita or not? Did they trust you directly when you come each day since 2016?
Basically, it is a joy for me. Otherwise, you can't do it. It's a very stressful and hard work. I trust people in Pirita and they trust me because I was very honest and I just came here, I don't know, with my bare hands, tried to communicate with them and try to find solution with them. I never considered that the solution are just my ideas. Nothing goes like that. For all activity that I plan, it's their contribution in that. Otherwise, you can do anything consistent. And I was very consistent that it takes a lot of time. Changes doesn't happen overnight.
Yes, that's right. So the first thing you do in Pirita was a donation of clothes.
Yes, it was very small donation. Then I was just coming and talk with people for 6 months, just trying to understand who they are and trying to explain that what is the institution that I'm working for, child protection, and let's try to think together how we can help you, because it's not okay that your children are not in school. It's not okay that your children are not have access to health services. It's not okay that you are not having an ID and a proper house, and it's not right, and you have to think about your children's future. So it was just communication, just visiting and see their houses, listening to their stories, and I realized that a lot of people here was so isolated from the rest of the society that they didn't even think that somebody will consider their lives. So it was a very mutual respect and trust, yes.
Okay. And do you help only kids from Pirita or also the parents of these kids?
Yes, it's very difficult. The children's problems are the family problems. You can't separate the story of a child from the story of his family. But I realized that here are so many issues that if you not prioritize, you can't do anything. So I focus on the access to education, because that's the main cause of segregation. Of if somebody have not access to education, is very willing that he will be isolated, marginalized, and treated with racism. So it's very important for me that. So I started to explain very clearly. I'm here to help you to put your child in school, in kindergarten. I'm here to help you to find shoes for your child to go to school. If your child needs medicine, so to get better and go to school. Scuză-mă, te rog frumos. Hai un pic aici, Cosmin, te rog. Care Cosmin? It was a very important donation from a small NGO from Belgium. But the municipality now is the owner because we needed a very legal base to receive the donation. So that was, let's say, an example to work together. Otherwise, they know that I will do anything to protect the children's rights. We had our conflicts, but I hope that it will be better in the future, let's say.
Okay. And so you have donation and help from other citizens to this fund?
Yes, yes. It was like a miracle because I was so happy to see that the children come every day to school no matter what, no matter the cold, no matter the hunger, no matter the lack of responsibility of the parents. And I used to speak loud and publicly about the stories to hear from Pirita, and a lot of people that I never met, trust me and send me small amounts of money, but here it's crucial.
Yes.
To have something to eat, to have socks, to have books, to have electricity, I don't know. Now, I just want to give you an example. I was very sad the other week that we have now teenagers, and the girls need hygiene supplies every month. And I was thinking how I'm going to do it to help them and educate them about their sexual life. And somebody wrote me a message that she's an expert, she's a trainer, she wants to volunteer and teach our teenagers about their adult lives. And more than that, she will donate hygiene supplies for the girls.
That's nice.
But it was like, I don't know, like a miracle because I never had the opportunity to speak about that necessity. So if you are very enthusiastic about your work, other people will will just come. Yes,
that's right. And what was the infrastructure of Pirita community before you start to help them and now?
Yes. Before it was the main problem, it was the lack of access to basic hygiene. Because after our success to put children in school, the main problem was they are very dirty. Of course, because their parents are working on the garbage dump. Everything around them is garbage. there is no electricity, there is no water. It's just a pipe coming out of the earth with the water, and when it's wet, and it's impossible to be clean. So a dream was to have a place where the children can wash. And I went to a conference in Geneva, and we were there experts. And I had the chance to speak for 10 minutes about that I'm trying to put up a program for some children who are living in the Middle Age. And a colleague of mine, everything was very luxury there. And a colleague of mine came and said to me, look, me and my wife, we support the cause. We have 4,000 pounds. I hope I said it correctly. And we wanted to give it to you, just like that. Okay, I said. And then I came home, and it was a mission to buy a module with showers. And we raised money because it was not enough. But until Christmas, we had 6 showers. Three for women, 3 for men. And an entire winter, when nobody from the community wanted to take it responsibility to have the key. So I and Carmiel took turns in freezing in our car to open the showers on Sunday night in order for children to be clean on Monday at school. And everybody was I saw children crying because I never knew how it is to just have warm water and smell nice and not having fleas. So it was, and now we have washing machines, and now it's something very normal to take a shower into community. Yes, and that was the first step forward. And then this one, it was another dream to have a place just for children. And it took an entire year, but we finally had that dream come true.
And according to you, what is the main reason of the poverty in Pirita? What justifies this difficult living condition?
Yes, it is a cycle. People, the grandparents were the first families in Pirita, living without property, so illegally. They never had the chance to have an ID, so their children, because nobody helped at the time, grew up without education, without ID, without access to a job, to a school, to health. So they just took their parents' model and living it forward. A lot of people in jail, because it's very easy to steal when you have a group of other friends who already did it. And if you're young and you need now some money, it's very easy to be in such an environment. The girls, it's very easy for a girl to have a baby as a teenager. So that was the model of living. Invisible for authorities, invisible for the state, working on the garbage dump, just living in here. And now the children start to break this cycle of poverty because they have access to education. They start to want it more. They start to understand better. They start to have access to online information. They start to ask questions about their situation. And I hope that they will want more.
Can you explain to us why people from Comunitatea don't have an ID like other Romanian people?
Yes, because they don't have anything, they don't have a property. In Romania, if you don't own something, a land or a house, it has to be an address. You don't have access to a proper ID. A proper ID is to have an address. They have an ID, but just for a year, and they said without address. That's why when you go to find a job and they see that, they don't trust you. So if you have no house, how are you going to work and you're not trustable? So that's an issue.
And for you, what is the best solution, according to you, to offer a good life to people who live in Purita?
They need support, but a serious support with a living condition. You can build anything if the living conditions are not even basic. They need to start living in a house who have walls and roof and foundation. Their houses are not on foundation. That means anytime the municipality can just put down our house. Anytime a stronger wind or a stronger, heavy snow can put our house down. So they only live to maintain, that on daily routine. They can store, for example, they can buy food for a longer period of time. We buy today, we eat today, and tomorrow we start over because there are rats and flies, and if I have bread and put it in here, the rats will come in the night and eat it. So as long as the people the mother are staying awake like this, just to scare the rats in the winter, that's beyond our imagination, yes.
And what was the situation during quarantine here?
It was very, very bad. It was like a trap, because all the people here are living from daily work. That means they have to get out every day, trying to find some garbage, to sell something, and it was dramatic, and the municipality helped them with some food. We spent some money from our donation and helped them with food and hygiene products, trying to be with them, but it was dramatic.
And for the school, how do you manage to continue education during quarantine?
Yes, we took a chance to build an online school. And we involve 15, 17 children. We bought some tablets.
Yes, tablets.
Okay. And we received a lot of tablets, second-hand tablets. and we provide internet with small cards from Vodafone, like this. And we had 17 volunteers, one-to-one, they work one-to-one, but it was very difficult because the children didn't know what time it is, they don't have electricity, they had to manage themselves to put to charge the battery of the tablets in the night in order to have battery the next day, and it was complicated, but the level of self-esteem was so high that we trust them and we involve them in a real online school that it was worth it.
And for charging the tablet, they come here in this module?
No, because that is, I will just be short. The municipality decided to change the lock and didn't give me the key. So they used the shower module. But there is water and the risk of, yes, to broke the tablets, and it was complicated. But it was a very important exercise, and the parents, the great surprise were several mothers who was very, very responsible because they were very proud to show that their children are able to be part of an online school.
Parents of Pirita, do they have a job or they support the need of the kids?
Very, very few have a job. The most of them are working on the garbage dump, trying to collect garbage that then they can sell, iron or metals or paper.
Okay. And what do you expect from the Romanian government? Did you expect something to change, something in Pirita?
To be honest, no.
Okay. You lost some trust?
Yes.
Okay, I understand. And can you tell me what did you achieve in Pirita? Just resume what did you achieve in Pirita? And what is your hope and expectation for the future in this Pirita community?
61 children in school, around 30 children in kindergarten, and I hope that I have some children in high school.
So thank you so much, Claudia, for your energy, your positivity, and for this interview.
Thank you.
Hello Maria, how old are you?
26 de ani.
Okay. I want to ask you, do you have a family?
Da.
How many kids do you have?
2.
And how long have you lived in Pirita?
Mie nu vine să vă povestesc că am stat în Pirita. Acum am crescut.
Okay. And when do you leave Pirita?
De 2 ani de zile.
Okay. And do you leave Pirita with your family or your family is still in Pirita?
Am plecat cu familia mea, dar mai am și în Pirita.
Okay. And why do you decide to leave Pirita?
Din sărăcie. A fost foarte greu, am fost o femeie singură cu 2 copii. Am avut ajutor în doamna Claudia.
Okay. And are you still in contact with the people from Pirita?
Mai țin cu maica mea.
And what challenge do you meet before leaving Pirita? What challenge, what difficulty, oh it was difficult to leave Pirita?
Tot ce a fost greu. Am avut casă, n-am avut curent, n-am avut apă, n-am avut nimic.
Some help to leave Pirita or you decide or you live alone?
Am primit în ajutorul lui doamna Claudia. O venit doamna Claudia, nu o cunoșteam. Deci eu am venit să vă ajut. Și nouă ne era frică de doamna Claudia când a venit prima dată. Doamne, după ce vine doamna asta? Era îmbrăcată, aranjată. Nu, n-am văzut-o pe aici niciodată. Deci nu vă fie frică de mine. Nouă ne-a fost frică de doamna Claudia prima. De ce nu vă frică de mine? Că eu am venit să vă ajut pe voi și pe copiii voștri. Și eu i-am povestit că am un copil bolnav. Și dacă i-am povestit situația mea la doamna Claudia a făcut tot posibilul. Și până ea, și până colegii ei, am ajuns aici. Și eu îi mulțumesc la doamna Claudia toată viața mea.
So,
How do you manage to find a house, an apartment in the town of Baia Mare?
Cu doamna Claudia.
ok, da. So, trebuie să spui mai mult. Adică, so, I put her in contact with the foundation Hope and Homes for Children in Romania, where I used to work before.
Okay.
Because I knew they have this place. They did a social assessment of the situation of Maria. They meet her several times and they decided to give her a chance. And in the winter day, she put all the stuff in a carriage and then in a car and they come here.
And it was difficult to be used. Was it difficult to be used to live in the town or not?
Nu. Mi-a plăcut când m-a dus prima dată doamna Claudia aici și am văzut, am zis, doamna Claudia, vă mulțumim foarte frumos și mulțumesc la toți colegii. Pe cum ea, am ajuns aici. Pe cum ea, nu știam. Nu știam să umblu la gaz.
How to use the...
Și i-am cumpărat un mereșeu. Și am spus la doamna Claudia, nu știu, mi-e frică să lucru pe el. Zice, doamna Claudia, nu știu, e frică mare, și eu am acasă și toți umblăm cu lucruri din astea. Doamna Claudia, dumneavoastră sunteți învățată, eu am venit după Pirita. Nu mi-a fost rușine de doamna Claudia, i-a spus tot. Eu am venit din situația mai rea, eu nu m-am făcut numai cu foc, cu lemne, n-am avut centrală, n-am avut eu lucruri de astea.
what was the kind of struggle you discover when you start to live in the town?
Să nu las pe Andrada singură la școală. Scuiam pe Andreiuț, noi așa ne trezim la 5 dimineața să scoală el, la 6 ne echipăm de școală și aia lucru mi-a fumet eu. Altceva, nimic, n-am dus greu.
And what's your vision about the life outside Pirita?
Frumos.
And when you was in Pirita, your kid was in school or not? And it was difficult to put your kid in school when you was in Pirita?
Nu.
And what did you miss something in Pirita or not?
La ce e frumos, e frumos.
And was it difficult for you to leave Pirita, or you was like relieved to leave this place? It was a little bit difficult or no? When today?
Foarte ușor. Atât.
And did you find a job in the city, in the town in Pirita, in Baia Mare?
Asistent personal.
And do you feel sometimes that you still discriminated even if you don't live in Pirita anymore or not?
Da. Acolo pe Pirita.
Pe Andrada la școală?
Andrada nu.
And all your new life in the town change you, impacts you?
Acum sunt fericită. De salt cumva când ieșeam de pe Pirita, nici nu-mi vine să ies în oraș, că mi-era rușine de oameni. Acum nu se ferește de fiica mea la școală, că știe că am condiții, am apă caldă, am apă rece.
And what message do you want to give to, for example, the mother who still live in Pirita?
Le-am zis că nu e frumos să stea acolo în situația asta. Și familia mea a fost câțiva aici, doamna Claudia le-au dus aici. Și le-am explicat frumos cum v-am simțit acolo și cum vă simțiți aici. Ziceam nimic, le părea rău că pleca de aici. Au fost aici.
And what was difficult, for example, to your sister to live in town? Why for your sister it was difficult to live in town and for you not?
Ce sunt aici? Nimic. Nu le-a plăcut că au fost obișnuiți acolo pe Pirita. Și când au văzut că ce condiții sunt aici, ce...
I want to say to you that for me you are an example because you live in Pirita and you succeed to get out of Pirita, and I'm very glad to ask you this question, and you are an example and you should be proud of you and your life.
Vă mulțumim foarte frumos.
And I think your testimony can give some hope to other women who still live in Pirita.
Așa le-a ajutat și până mine, doamna Claudia. Da, până mine. Au văzut că eu sunt așa și au venit că să pună și pe alții, că-s de-a mine. Dar după ce au venit, au făcut-o și pe ea de rușine și m-au făcut și pe mine de rușine. Unde sunt învățați și sunt crescuți, am cu greu le aduci pe asta.
But maybe your sister will, next week they will try again and they will succeed because you're still an example for them.
Speranța mă rămâne.
Dar eu n-aș pleca de aici. Toată viața mea. Eu n-aș pleca de aici. Așa frumusețe în mijlocul orașului, rar care au fost și așa ceva.
She understand the privilege that she's living.
Și vecinii tăți.
And for me, it's a very strong memory that she was very desperate after she took Andrei to the doctors because Andrei had a little baby that she's with very complex medical issues, neurological, and she's almost blind and all other issues. And she was very desperate, and doctor said to her that the hope of life is very small But now the child is growing and he's more better than anybody expected. So I think that's another proof that improving the living condition can be a dramatic change even for development of the children.
Finish again. Thank you, Dr.
Angela